Hi. Oh my god, guys. Beyblade just keeps giving more on National Beyblade Day. And they've actually announced that Beyblade is coming to the West. We're getting Hasbro releasing Beyblade on the West finally. And with it, we are getting the Beyblade X anime with some changes. And we finally got our first look at the actual toy line that Hasbro is going to be putting out for the West. So for those who don't know, Takara Tomy is the company that releases Beyblade in Japan, and basically in the West, usually it's Hasbro that just releases it every generation. So Hasbro has a couple of differences. This is big because Hasbro has a couple of differences from the Takara Tomy releases. Usually they have a slightly different quality. Sometimes it's actually major quality differences from the Beyblade that they put out. The stadiums are different. They've released actual stadiums that I don't think were released in Japan. They did that for the Metal Fusion saga. They did that for that generation. And it seems like they're doing some really interesting things. So we're going to take a look at them today. Because I am really excited for these changes. I've been ordering my Beyblades from Amazon Japan for the past months, ever since I got back into Beyblade. And being able to see prices, at least in dollar, at least gives me a range of how expensive they're gonna be over here in Europe. So I don't think any information about Europe has released yet, but all the prices are in dollars. So I think it's at least interesting to cover and interesting to speculate if the prices are going to be maintained or at least be really close to what they are from the ones in America, because I do think that the American prices are pretty close to the Japanese ones. So I think it's an interesting thing to look at and to talk about. So first, we are getting a starter pack for the stadium and for Dren Dagger. So they're releasing Dren Dagger, and they're releasing a new Beyblade. I have never seen it. They're releasing the Mammoth Tusk. So from this picture, it does look like the stadium is a little bit longer, but not as wide as the ones from Takara Tomy. If you guys look really closely to the packaging, it does have the Takara Tomy logo. So I'm not sure if this is repackaged and it's just the same stadium and somehow they're Photoshop or formatting for whatever reason got messed up, because the stadium does look different than the one I have at home. And it seems like Hasbro managed to release everything with the tiny launchers that previously I think they only came with very specific packs. Like these tiny launchers, they only came with the Dran Sword starter pack, for example, and now every single starter pack comes with this, aside from the Phoenix Wing starter pack. We're gonna take a look at it in a second, but there is confirmation that Hasbro is releasing the normal launcher, the Ripcord launcher, or I guess the one you would call Winder launcher. It seems that this one is also just repackaged from Takara Tomy, as you can see from the logo. It seems like they're releasing it as a separate product. So it's unlikely that you're going to get it on a pack like how you get, for example, the Leon Claw Winder launcher included with the pack, or for example Hell Scythe's Winder launcher. It seems like you're not getting it from the packs anymore. However, we do have Phoenix Wing. Now, it seems like they changed Phoenix Wing's name for the English release, and you guys are going to see that this looks very prominent and this looks very consistent within, I guess you would call it, the Western release or the localization. It's called Soar Phoenix on the package. I don't know why they're changing the Beyblade names when they're already in English in the original version. It seems a bit weird. But they actually did the same for the anime characters, and they have different names too. So let's take a look at the Mammoth first. We have the Mammoth. It's a 360, and it has a really interesting bit as well. It's a taper bit, so this is going to be a really interesting Beyblade to use. I am not sure. I think this is probably an attack Beyblade. I do think so. So Tusk Mammoth, there's no indication that if it's gonna be an attack Beyblade or a defense Beyblade. At least there's not like anything on the box, as you guys can see. It's not completely like obvious what kind of Beyblade type it is. It looks like either an attack Beyblade or a defense Beyblade to me. I do know that the bit is supposed to be also an indicator of what kind of Beyblade it is. So we're gonna see. But I do think it looks really, really cool. And now we have the funniest part of the Western release. So this is the funniest part, but it's in a really weird way. Apparently, the Beyblade X anime is going to be released in the West. However, the names for the main characters got changed. And Bird Kazami is going to be changed to Robin Kazami. For some reason, he's called Robin. X Cross is going to be changed to Jackson Cross. Which is absolutely hilarious. I have no idea why they would do this. This is absolutely hilarious. And then Multi is going to keep her name, but they added a hyphen in between Nana and Iro, which is really weird. I don't know why they wouldn't just keep Nana Iro just like how it is in the original version. I feel like these name changes are a bit irrelevant. Apparently, Chrome Ryugu also got changed to Chrome with like a different spelling. So yeah, Chrome Ryugu is changing to KH instead of CH. I don't understand these changes. They're really random. But we do get the first look at the anime trailer. They did release it on Twitter. If you guys want to go watch it, you can go watch it. I'm not going to play it because it plays Prove on the background and I really don't want to get copyrighted. But the opening song seems to be the exact same as the Japanese version, which is actually a first. It's a first. So this is really exciting news. Now, taking a closer look at the Hasbro releases for the Beyblades, it doesn't seem like quality is really lacking for these Beyblades. It seems like the quality is better than expected. Because of previous experiences with Hasbro on the West, people were a little bit afraid of how Beyblade X's release was going to be like. People were afraid that the stadium would change, that it would made to be safer for children because they usually have that excuse of like, oh, we're not getting the exact same stadiums as the Japanese releases do because they're not as safe or for some other reason. So they did end up changing a lot of the stadiums in the West for multiple generations. So now we do have the same stadium, it seems, for Beyblade X, which is great. I hope the dimensions are not too different. They look a bit different from the pictures, but I don't know if it might just be like the way that they edited the pictures, but they do seem different. The stadiums look smaller, and that means in theory that more Beyblades are gonna be on like that extreme dash rail and they're gonna do more extreme dashes. I don't know how good that's going to be, honestly, but I am really excited. I'm really happy that at least for Beyblade fans around the world, this is going to be at least the same experience, more or less, for everybody. Back then, the stadiums being different and the quality of the Beyblades being different was a concern because by norm, Takara Tomy Beyblades were always better than the Hasbro Beyblades, aside from a few releases, I think, that changed the Beyblade like slightly, like the actual design, or it just changed like the quality to be better than the original. I think there's a few examples from the middle era, but I don't really know them by heart. I just like remember reading something about that. But I'm really happy that at least the quality seems to be there. I'm really happy that the experience everyone's gonna be getting is kind of the same. And now I do want to take a look at this website real quick. So this website has an exclusive interview, and it has a bunch of pictures about the stadium, the Beyblade, and it has a lot about the launchers, and it has the pricing. So the pricing is what I really care about. So we're going to have basically, let's start with the battle set, the starter set with Dran Dagger on it. You guys are going to see that on the box. The names seem to be changed for some reason. Instead of Dran Dagger, like on the original like Takara Tomy release, they inverted the name to Dagger Dran and Sword Dran. I don't know why they did this, but they seem to have done this on a couple of releases, and they also changed the names for a couple of them, as I mentioned before. So Wizard Arrow becomes Arrow Wizard for some reason. And then the weird thing about all these releases is Hell Scythe was actually changed, just like Phoenix Wing, to Scythe Incendio. I don't understand why they changed this, because they made Hell Scythe sound like either a Spanish Beyblade or a Portuguese Beyblade. Incendio is literally a Spanish and Portuguese word. And they also changed Knight Lance's and Knight Shield's name to Helm Knight. I don't understand why, but apparently it's changing. I really don't get it, but well, let's get on with the prices. All right, so the starter set for Dran Dagger and for the Tusk Mammoth, they both come in the set with the stadium. It's gonna be $50, and it's coming out in summer 2024. So the starter pack for each Beyblade. So there's going to be a starter pack for a Dran Sword, a Wizard Arrow, a Knight, and a Hell Scythe. All of them are going to be sold separately with one launcher, and each one is going to be costing $10. Then we have the Phoenix Wing, or in this case, for the Western release, it's going to be Soar Phoenix. It's going to be $20, and it comes with the string launcher that the Japanese version also comes with, which is really interesting. I think it's pretty good price-wise. I hope the quality adds on. It seems to be repackaged from a Takara Tomy Beyblade release, so I think the quality is probably going to be the same as the Japanese one. Then we've got the Winder launcher, which is going to be $8. So yeah, now we have the pictures for all of the starter sets for Dran Sword, for the Knight, for Hell Scythe, and for Wizard Arrow. We have pictures for all of them, and I think the quality does look nice. I'm pretty sure these are probably like just really repackaged. I like the fact that the boxes though are different from the Japanese ones. They actually have this thing, I don't know if you noticed, they have this thing saying let it rip, and it seems like it's where you actually open the package from. So the Japanese one, if you've been watching my unboxing videos, you have to open them from like the bottom and from the sides, and you have to cut the tape. It seems like this one, you actually have to rip it apart to open it. I think it might be interesting. It might be an interesting way to open it. It might be actually really satisfactory. I like it. The later rip is a really nice touch, I think. I'm looking forward to the release in Europe, because obviously I'm from Europe, and I hope the prices stay more or less the same, because I think they're pretty fair. So like instead of $50, it's like 50 euros. I really hope so. And I think this is gonna be great. Actually reading the website screenrant.com, which is the one that had the exclusive article for Beyblade, it seems like Mammoth Tusk is going to be a balance type Beyblade. So Mammoth Tusk is going to be a balance type, and I think that's really cool. That is really cool. So they're giving you Dran Dagger, which is an attack Beyblade, which is really good, with Mammoth Tusk. I think those might be really solid choices for like a starter kit. Just like how Hell's Scythe and Hell's Chain are a really solid choice of Beyblades. I think the Tusk might be really good too. I think it might be really good. So thank you guys so much for coming to this update. Thank you so much for hearing me talk about this. I'm really excited for these releases. I really can't wait for them because importing things from Japan costs a shit ton of money. So if you guys would like to, please don't forget to support me on my Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave a like. In a comment, just tell me how excited you are for this release. I am really, really, really enjoying covering these news, and I'm really excited. So I hope you guys are too. Until next time, bye bye.